Next on News Channel 3 at 6, a frightening collapse. A roof loaded with Cal Poly partiers gives way. In the aftermath, 9 people are hurt. Some sent straight to the hospital. News Channel 3 brings you complete team coverage, the witnesses and the victims.
I have internal bleeding and bruising.
And pictures of the aftermath that have many asking if the party should end.
People still had a good time after the collapse.
News Channel 3 at 6 starts right now.
Live, up and down the coast, from the beaches to the valleys. At 6, this is KEYT News Channel 3, where the news comes first.
Good evening. I'm Elise Martinez in tonight for Victoria Sanchez. Our news team was the first to break this story online and on the air. Tonight we have live team coverage. News Channel 3's Juanita Adame looked into the party that led up to this, but we start with Nia Wong, who was the first reporter live this morning. She joins us from the scene of the collapse. Nia?
When I first got here, you could still see a few hundred people walking around in their festive St. Patrick's Day gear, but right behind me at this home, it was once filled with hundreds of people shoulder to shoulder until this roof collapsed.
I hopped off because I heard a guy was telling us, hey, the mainframe cracked, you should probably get off. I'm like, okay.
I think it just happened so quickly that it didn't register until after the fact, when everyone was, kind of chaotic.
Yeah.
San Luis police estimate between 30 to 40 people were on the roof when it collapsed just before 6:30 Saturday morning.
And then I just remember when, you could kind of hear cracking noises, and then you had about 3 seconds of it falling.
Ashley Vong and Haley Westfall say the next thing they remembered, people were on top of them. Police estimate as many as 7,000 partiers filled the 300 block of Hathaway for an early St. Patrick's Day party, better known to students here as St. Fratty's Day.
We just wake up early in the morning and we usually come to this street sometimes and we, just live it up. It's a tradition.
These photos were taken just after the collapse. 10 people suffered non-life-threatening injuries and were sent to local hospitals. By Saturday evening, 8 had already been released from Sierra Vista Medical Center.
The injuries ranged from everything from scrapes and bruises to one person who had a stick or a piece of lumber, whatever it may have been, impaled in their thigh.
The roof collapse happened several blocks away from the Cal Poly campus, but the school is aware many of their students were involved.
Now, slight correction, it was actually several thousand people who were partying on this block, and Slow City Fire tells me they had to use all their resources to rescue these partiers. It's remarkable how no lives were lost. Reporting live in San Luis Obispo, Nia Wong, News Channel 3.
Thank you, Nia. Now, to give you a better idea of where this happened, take a look at this map. The garage we're talking about was located at 364 Hathaway Street in San Luis Obispo. That's just off California Boulevard. The garage stood right next to a house and was just a few blocks south of the Cal Poly campus. A person calling himself the Slow Stringer posted this video to his Facebook page shortly after the incident. San Luis Obispo's acting fire chief says it was chaotic when they first arrived. At times, that giant mass of people hampered rescue crews trying to reach victims. You can see paramedics working on the injured as hundreds of people look on from the ground and others from surrounding rooftops. We also mined Twitter and Facebook for these images both before and after the collapse. Firefighters called this a mass casualty scene, and you can tell by the devastation that this was a difficult job for rescue workers who had to pick through steel and shattered pieces of lumber to treat people and access the damage. Parties around St. Patrick's Day are well known by many San Luis Obispo residents. Efforts to keep them under control often involve crackdowns with police. But is that the best way to handle situations such as these? Juanita Adame continues our team coverage live from the SLO Police Department.
Well, Elise, a lot of the people that we talk to know about this event, this St. Friday's Day event that takes place about 10 days before St. Patrick's Day. And a lot of the people that we talk to know that it involves a lot of heavy drinking, but some don't agree that arresting these young people is always the answer. Crowded, chaotic, and out of hand.
I'd say it's pretty close to out of control already. If it's like this already, I can't wait to see St. Patrick's Day.
This is how resident Tim Harlan describes the college scene during St. Patrick's Day in San Luis Obispo.
It's 10 days before St. Patrick's and before noon. I've had encounters with at least half a dozen drunken college students.
And he adds it's always been this way.
Far drunker than they should be at this hour.
On St. Patrick's Day in 2014, there were 9 people arrested on suspicion of public intoxication. The year before that, 38 people were arrested. The majority of those arrests were also due to public intoxication.
Here's the thing. Here's how I look at it. It's like, it's going to happen either way. That's what I'm saying. It's going to happen either way. It's like, that's all that happened.
But not everyone feels that punishment is the answer.
I was young once too, so I understand that having a good time is a lot of fun. You know, they pay the consequences with their hangover.
Richard Casey says the city should take a more proactive measure in helping those who've had one too many.
Do we have to criminalize all of them? I don't think so.
And maybe this will help reduce the number of arrests that come with the holiday.
Pro-citizen, pro-students, pro-community, and I think that instead of arresting everybody for drunk driving, if they knew the police would be there to give them a ride home and stuff, they would have alternative options to use in order to benefit the community.
Now, we still don't have an official number of arrests for this year, but police anticipate they will stay busy throughout the weekend and every day leading up to St. Patrick's Day. Live in San Luis Obispo, Juanita Adame. Elise, back to you.
Okay, thank you, Juanita. Now, the president of Cal Poly sent out a strongly worded statement about today's incident. Jeffrey Armstrong said his thoughts were with those hurt, and it was fortunate the result wasn't any worse. But he also said, quote, the event raises significant concerns about the judgment by those who organized and went to the party. And this kind of behavior has no place in San Luis Obispo. He promised action after a full investigation to make sure it doesn't happen again.